Hello and welcome back to compiler programming. In the last few videos I was heavily focusing on the internals of the compiler, and now I decided to do something that would be a bit more visible in the actual end program. And what I have in mind for today is to add basic support for escapes in strings, because right now we cannot really say like /n in here, and that means that our fishbus is not looking pretty nice. And then I will probably leave it as it is with spaces because it will shorten the test output, but supporting something like /n would be really neat. So if I try to build that right now, actually I don't even need to build, I can just say that I will do build mass and then minus run fixtures fishbus. You see that this is not really nice, and there are a couple of problems. First is it thinks that it's only one symbol, but it sort of is one symbol, right? Because it's just a string. But yeah, so this should be a new line, and we also want to support something like /r/t, and that basically mostly it for today. I think there is also /v for visual tab, but nobody really uses that, so doesn't really matter. Maybe /0 is also something we should support. Anyhow, this comes into the tokenizer, so let's look at tokenizer. Tokenize here, and we'll see somewhere here, yeah. So this is how we deal with where we are inside of the string. And right now that there is only condition that if we find a double quote, then it's end of the string and we are done. We will push this token, and that will cause us to go into the default state and continue with tokenization. So now I will need to do something different. For now, I will not include multi-symbol escapes, so you can have I think something like /x whatever, /x12 I think, and so on. In C, I don't want to support it. This will be a short video just about /n/r, and that should allow us to implement this pretty easily because we already have peak here, so we kind of looking one symbol ahead. And this is how we will deal it. So we'll say that if ch is // then here's what we do. We will increase the index. So this is something that we do in hex as well, right? So we are I'm thinking about it. Maybe that's not the best option. Maybe the best option would be to go into a special state. And we will go into tokenizer state string escape. Yeah, and maybe then we will do even more complicated ones, but let's see. So if we are inside of escape string, then, well, doesn't really matter what we do here. We just increase this stuff, right? So after a slash, whatever happens, this is gonna be just an increase in the size of the token. But now we also need to change things around. And this is where it becomes a bit tricky. So previously we would just use token source as the value of the string, but now that is not going to be the case. Instead, we will have a a separate field, I guess, inside of the string. So let's open up the header file for this. Yeah, so this is our token, and we will need to have slice string here. And if we have a slice string, and that would also mean that we actually need to store it somewhere. So let's create a fixed buffer star string buffer. Fixed buffer make allocator is allocator system, and capacity is, well, let's take a sort of a page sized. And I added a couple of functions to preludes.h that allows me to actually dynamically resize this buffer. You can see it in a previous commit in the repository. And that means that we can take this. We also need to not forget to destroy it. So fixed buffer destroy of this. Okay, and in here, we will also need to do something else. So if it is not an escape and it is not an end quote, then we will need to append current character to our buffer. Fixed buffer append u8, and actually I should do resizing append. This is the new functionality of resizing. Fixed buffer resizing append, and this would be string buffer. So one thing to note that when we are doing resizing, we are taking a pointer to the pointer, so we can actually update where this goes to, because fixed buffer is just a linear piece of memory, and if we need to resize it, that means we need to repoint it somewhere else. Okay, string buffer u8 ch. So over here, we are sort of like taking one by one and just adding characters to the buffer. Theoretically, we could try to do something funky where we wait for the first escape and only copy things when that escape happens, but I'm not actually sure that will be that much faster. I don't know, that might be something to think about later on. For now, I don't care about the speed of this, so it's fine. Okay, so this is the default thing, and the other one will happen here. So we do switch of ch, and this is actually where this happens with maybe I will do it like this. Ch is /n. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So if we are inside of an escape string and we find a /n, we would have r t and v. I think I also want to support /0. I'm probably missing something, but these are the ones that, like these three are actually the ones I use, and these ones I know that do exist. I will look later about all other ones. And in default case, we actually don't do anything. So I'll just say like this, or maybe explicitly nothing to do, so that's not a mistake. And then we just append the character. That's actually bad because we will also check in this here, so we will end up with extra line. This is not what we wanted, so let's not mutate this character here, but create a new one. Say it escaped character is character, and then I will do it like that. Yeah, that sounds good. I can also maybe change it around to be more explicit, because if I don't initialize it here and instead put it here, then the compiler will actually complain to me that I might have uninitialized stuff if I forget these things. Okay, but now we are not appending ch, we are appending escaped character. Yeah, so we append it, and now we need to switch the state back to string. Tokenizer state, we need to add one here. Okay. And another thing is when we get into the string, we need to reset our buffer. So fixed, or rather string buffer occupied is 0. This is just a, so again, we don't care about the size. And one final thing, I guess, would be that when we end here, we also need to copy out the buffer from the temporary one. So we'll say u8 star memory is temp allocate bytes. Do we have that? Or allocator allocate bytes of temp allocator, and we need the size of the buffer, so we'll say string buffer occupied. Then we will copy out string from the buffer, so string buffer memory, string buffer occupied. And now that's just gonna be a slice. So we say, actually, yeah, no, that's like this is fine. Current token string is string and string buffer occupied. Okay, I probably made a bunch of errors, so let's build and see what is going on. Here we want like this, and here we need to say that it is a slice. Here it should be ch. Okay, that is way fewer errors than I thought I'd make. But the big question is, does this work? Well, only one way to find out. We need to run the tests. Okay, looks that there is something wrong. Let's bring out the debugger and see where I messed up. Hmm. I've updated to new Visual Studio and apparently it is even slower than the old Visual Studio. That's great. Okay. Anyhow, where is our issue? Bucket buffer allocator deallocate. Allocator reallocate. Oh, this is crashing in a very interesting place. What? So Win32 absolute pass. Temp allocator. Wide string. This is really, really weird. I haven't touched any of this code right now. Did I? Let's try to roll back for a second and rerun the tests. Okay. So somehow, whatever we did caused an issue. And this is super, super weird. Okay, let's try that again. I mean, I need to build it. Build it. And let's see again that error. So we are trying to write somewhere not great. YouTube 16 to... So what is our source? Autos. Okay. vchar t star source. I wonder why doesn't it show it as a string now that I cast it to vchar? That kind of is not great. Should I cast it to const vchar? Nope. Okay. Whatever. We have allocator, which is bucket buffer. So we passed in temp allocator, I assume, in here from here. I wonder if it's somehow connected to us just having more things allocated and we overflowed something inside of a temporary allocator. That's very interesting. Okay, so we're having a buffer here. I'm a bit confused to what this thing actually does. So we had get current directory. We get this stuff. Okay. So the first thing I want to try to do before I dive too deep into this stuff is I will try to change which allocator it uses here and leak some memory. Okay, so what if I do allocator default? Actually, I think I know what the problem is. Yeah, this was wrong what it was doing before, because it used one allocator to create this memory, but then used a completely different one to deal with it. So maybe it's just some alignment that actually was accidentally working, but it shouldn't have been working in the first place. So let's try that again. It's no longer a leak. Okay, so that's much better. Yeah, that was a problem. I think it just manifested itself here by accident. But yeah, it's fine. This works now. Getting back to our escapes. So if I run this command now to actually run fizzbuzz, we still have a problem here. And the reason we still have a problem here is because we create the string, but we don't actually use it when parsing the program. And I think this is inside of force value. We have somewhere a string, token type string. So let's just inspect where we use a string. Okay, nothing to do. String to slice. Well, we just remove this function, and wherever we were using this, we will switch to using our string. So we say token string. That's good. And the same thing here. Token string, library name. Oh, let's first make it work. Okay. This would be symbol name token. And this is also actually symbol library name token. Okay. Let's try that out again. Look at that. We have string escapes and we can now do new lines. And that's basically all I wanted to do. There was a bit of a detour with that weird allocation bug, but we fixed it now as well. So that's good to see. Yeah, that would be all for today. Thank you very much for watching and hopefully see you next time.